A very good evening and welcome to this special broadcast here on Newzroom Afrika. We're going to be putting a bow on our Women in Sport documentary nights because over the last 6 weeks we've enjoyed some incredible stories and getting to know wonderful global sporting women, from Lucy Bronze to Naomi Osaka, from Alex Morgan through to surfer Stephanie Gilmore. From a South African point of view and a current global context, August has been an incredible month when some of the biggest issues facing women's sport and women in society were brought to the fore. Some of the most confronting issues brought to the stage of the FIFA Women's World Cup. We're going to be focusing in on women's football after Banyana Banyana made history by becoming the first South African football team to reach a knockout stage at a FIFA World Cup. To do that, we're going to be having different voices, and in studio with me, I've got the Deputy Director of Sports Management from the University of Pretoria, Dr. Rendani Mulautsi, and Banyana Banyana forward, MELINDA. A very good evening, and thank you for spending time to unpack what's a really important issue.
Thank you for having me.
Good evening again, and thank you very much for inviting us.
MELINDA, I'm going to start with you because Banyana had the most incredible run. What was it like being on the inside?
It was amazing. It was a great experience, and it was an honor to be part of the team who made history. So it was more like a dream come true for me. So yeah, it was great to be there, to be part of the team.
How difficult was it for the team just to regroup after what happened prior to your departure?
It was not that difficult because at the end of the day we knew we want to play football, so we just wanted to focus on football and forget about the other things, and those things were sorted out quickly. So, and we knew our mandate is to play football, so we just knew that we're going to the World Cup focused, and we know what we want to do, and we just want to play football.
Some of the things that were said by the South African public who didn't perhaps understand exactly what Banyana Banyana were standing for, and the reason that they didn't want to play in that Botswana match, said that you were acting in a way that was not proud and patriotic. As a player, how did you feel hearing those things?
For me, social media and like people outside me, I don't really focus more on that. But obviously it was out there and then it was too much. But then, for me, like, I didn't pay much attention, you know, like as a player, like for me, I didn't pay much attention. I just focused on playing. And we knew why we didn't want to play, you know, because we didn't want to play because of the field, the condition of the field, not the other things that people were dragging in that issue. Because people dragged money issues and us being big-headed and all that, but we just wanted to go to the World Cup injury-free, and we wanted to play in the field that we know which sizodlala kuyo when we get to the World Cup, like the same field, like the same like standard of like quality of the field. So we just wanted to play in a good condition field, not that we didn't want to play in Tsakane or anything like that.
Dr. Mulautsi, you have had many years of seeing the journey of women's football. How did you view the last couple of months and how the issues have come to really rear their head in the public space?
I think one of the, let's call it the weak issue regarding South African sport is that we don't focus on the athlete. We don't value the fact that without them we can't achieve the goals that we want to achieve. In my experience, the moment you provide the athlete with all the support that they need to focus on the big goal that we have set for them, they deliver. That has been proven in many successful sport systems in the world.
But our team performed even in spite of everything else.
Yes, talent works at the beginning. It's when we have to step onto the next level that we would experience difficulties if you don't have a system that supports high performance.
You, as a woman football player, a lot of your Banyana teammates actually are having to go straight back to work. How do you feel about that? Because you have international players saying that, you know, the quality of Banyana's players, they should all be able to make a living off of football.
It's sad. It's very sad because, like, it's football, like men's football, women's football, but at the end of the day, it's football. There shouldn't be like a difference in terms of money, treatment, and all that. But then I think there are changes. There are other teams that are trying to be professional, especially here in South Africa. MELINDA is one of those teams. They are trying their best to improve on those things that are lacking in women's football. So it is said that we can't make a living. We have to like do two things or try make another hustle on the side. You know, we have Kaylen Swart, who my teammate in Banyana, she's doing like, she has a job and then she has to play football at the same time. It is draining, but then we have to like push and try to make a living.
It seems such a difficult thing because, as we hear from MELINDA, they've almost resigned themselves. That's how it is. That's what you have to do in order to play and survive.
It's very unfortunate because it can be done properly. There are countries that have done it. The FA in the UK came out with a women and girls game strategy in 2020. And one of their goals was to win a major championship. And they did that in 2022 when they won UEFA Euro Championship. We need to have long-term plans. One thing that I always do after an Olympics, I visit websites of organizations such as UK Sport.
Yeah.
And immediately when you get on there, you find a 10-year plan. After Tokyo, they already had a plan that would end in 2031, which means they're covering the Olympics 2024, 2028, and probably 2032. And the athletes are identified and are funded.
What's really significant is that you're highlighting it's got to do with planning. It's got not anything to do with funding. It's about actually planning properly. And all the talk has in fact been around funding because closing the gender pay gap is something that is relevant all across the world. So a lady that's coached both men's and women's teams, TRACY Pepper, had her say about gender pay parity. And then we'll also hear from Banyana's longest standing sponsor, Sasol.
If the men get paid a certain amount playing for their country, the women should get paid the same amount playing for their country. But the money should not be the driving factor. I'm talking about playing for your country. But club football, 100% I'm on board. If the men are earning a certain amount of money, the women should be earning the same. I feel very strongly about that. There's no reason why women, especially, I mean, looking at the World Cup, those stadiums were packed, like packed to full to capacity. If you look at, the argument always is, well, women aren't going to fill out the stadiums. Men aren't going to watch women play football, but men aren't going to watch men play football either. Unless Chiefs are playing and Sundowns are playing and Pirates are playing, look at the stadiums. They're not full. So for me, that's like, it's such a poor excuse because unless you're playing for those high profile clubs, if Chippa are playing Richards Bay, you're not going to fill out the stadium. So that's like such a weak argument because it's not true that women won't fill out the stadiums because men aren't doing it either. But I do believe they should be having equal pay for sure. I don't know how they're going to get it right, but I do feel that it's something that needs to definitely be addressed when the women's professional league kicks in.
I think it came from having a vision and remaining true to it. And when we got on board, it was really, we were very clear what our vision is. We wanted to see women's football grow, and it was really about empowering women at the end of the day, and we were using sports to do so. And it's something that, as an organization, Cecil takes really seriously. And with, you know, football now as one of the ways that allow us to do that. So we've seen, you know, challenges over the years where we wanted the team to qualify and they just weren't ready yet. But when you are clear on what your vision is and why you're involved in something, you're there through it all, through the ups and downs, through the challenges, through the hard conversations. And yeah, I mean, we've seen it grow now, and it's testament to what happens when you do have a clear vision and you follow it through, and through the years, and not giving up on that vision.
For you as a player, how do you feel about all these conversations? Because I always feel like the players' voices are quietened. Many other people having their say.
As a player, all we can do is just to perform and give like good results, so that maybe the sponsors can come and sponsor us. And we've been doing that. We won CAF 2022, and then this year we qualified for World Cup and we qualified for round 16. So as a player, that's all we can do. You understand, just to play and give good results. But then if the sponsors are not coming, as a player, there's nothing you can do. You can't just maybe go to social media and demand that. All you can do is to just go in the field and show your talent and get results.
All the more reason why you actually need federations and structures to ensure that there is something in place to bring on board sponsors, to package the property in a way that makes it desirable. Because seeing what happened in South Africa after Banyana Banyana beat Italy and made it through to the round of 16, who wouldn't want to be a part of that magic? Our Women in Sport Roundtable continues after this.